Alright, we're going to jump in halfway through, reckless garage fashion. Been working on the fuel system up there. We'll take you up there in a second. You can see I've cut the... Oh, go back the other way. Go. There's some exhaust right here too. Just a little bit of exhaust. Okay. Zoom. See, I cut the factory V6 lines off and got the compression fittings. So I've done compression fittings where it can do 6A to there. And right now we're putting the transmission in there. Just torque down the flex plate bolts. We're gonna come over here and I've been filling up the PTC converter. Still needs to put a tick more in there, but been letting her burp overnight. That way it's got some fluid in the converter. Here's the old 4L80E I got from my buddy that parts out vehicles, old Ben Behringer. If you wanna look him up on Facebook, he's got tons of vehicles. 146,000 mile 4L80, so this should last for a little while. And we're gonna put that in here. That gum thing done got dirty sitting outside. Let's get some work done. It's my helper for today. Pigeon. I bought this chicken its own coop and everything, and it just likes living in the shop and staying with me. And eating grease and stuff. Apparently that's good. It's a good thing. How many times this takes? There it is. That's it right there. Just a little before and after of the interior of the truck. She's raggedy. Base model. I got this door panel right here. It's sitting right there. We're gonna tear this work stuff out and just put the nicer gray interior in here with the console. So now you see ugly. In a second you won't. Boom, and there's the new interior. Took a good bit of cleaning. I'm still gonna take the steering wheel out of the truck these came out of and put in here, because that's trash. Washout floorboards came in clutch. There's still some dirt in here, you can tell, or whatnot. I'll clean them out when I'm tired of working on the truck and pulling it in and out of the shop. It's just gonna get dirtier. But it doesn't smell like an L&M cigarette factory. This still has to be done. I'm gonna get my boy Tony to do that. He does headliners great. But yeah, it's much better. It's actually nice to sit in. It smells not like cancer. There we go. That's nasty. Well, I've gotten myself into a mess on the truck here. As you can see, I got a wiring harness laying there. I tried to put a 99 to 02 model drive-by cable harness in this truck. It is a 03 model, and the first thing that gave me a clue that this wasn't gonna work, for one, I had to put the 03 PC in, or the fuse block back in, because these main powers, they have a different plug, and this C152, I believe it's like 152 and C100 plugs, they're supposed to go together on this style. They do not, because it should be blue to blue, like white to white or whatever. Let me see, like right here, I got this hacked out of another harness I worked on a while back, and that's what we should be looking at. So I asked to see if you could repin this, because I can read and see what all these wires are, and I could repin them back to the computer, but other people said like the O2 sensors and other wiring is different too when they change the harnesses in 03. So I have to make a, let's see, a blue-green harness right here, which is traditionally drive-by wire. I got to convert it to drive-by cable. So I'm reading on lt1swap.com, and it doesn't look terrible. I've broke down harnesses and redone them myself from following that, so I imagine I can do this. Let's see if it happens. Alright, definitely wouldn't call this a DIY, but this may help someone. Go to the lt1swap.com and follow their directions. But this right here is what you're looking for. This is the Tack module that gives the drive-by-wire all its communication and power over the throttle body. Here's the other side of it. So I've started bringing it apart, and I'll just untape a little bit. Let's see, get up here. It was with these injectors right here. So I took it apart and I taped it as I pulled it back apart. That way you don't have a big spaghetti monster. And now I've gotten to where they've kind of intertwined them with the wiring harness. So I've came back and I've pulled this as far back as I can, done the same thing, and right here I'm going to unpin it because these pins look like the same ones in the PCM, so this could be handy for wiring in the throttle position and that IX. So I'll lift up these tabs with my fingernail and I'll push down. I doubt I can do it on camera. No. I'll push down with my pocket knife after I lift that up. There it goes. See, I push that in, and now you can unpin it, and it looks like these pins will go into the back of the the PCM plug. So it uses the same pins as these from the looks of it. So I'll be able to pop those in the right spots and reuse this good bit of harness. It should be just long enough to do the throttle position sensor and the eye. Alright, a little overview where I am after picking this Tack plug apart. I unpinned it and then I pulled it all the way back to where the throttle body goes. And what you end up with back in here, the only wire that I've cut, I believe right here is a ground cluster where they're all together. I clipped it and then shrink wrapped it up and taped it up, so that wire is only clipped. It's just a little ground wire. I don't know where it went, but right here. So it was just a black ground wire. That's been clipped. Then these wires, there's 3 wires, 2 gray, 1 blue, coming back to this plug. I'm not sure what they actually do, but they are for the Tack module or whatever. Then back here to the, I believe, C100 plug or the main power plug, you have that blue, that pink. Those go there. I'll unplug that and get rid of those, no big deal. Get back up here. And then as far as that goes to the PCM, these 2 wires are the only ones that's coming out of the Tack that goes to the PCM. So I'm gonna go back. I believe they go to the blue connector. Not sure, I had to check my reading. Alright, let's touch on the throttle position sensor and IK location. On the 9902 harnesses, they pretty much go even with the alternator plug. They're right there with it. And they're not taped too close to where you can move the wires around and route them, but about right there is where they split off. I have these all stranded out. And lt1swap.com, they tell you all the color wires, what pin it goes to. So I'm going to try to find the appropriate colors with pins still on them. I save everything. I've done a couple wiring harnesses all following lt1swap.com. It's a great website. I'll put the link in my description if I can think about it. But yeah, and he even goes in depth to tell you, you can cut this out of the harness. The PCM doesn't need to see oil pressure. As long as you got oil pressure going to your gauge, you'll be fine. You can do the 1 wire or whatever. But you can cut this pigtail plug out. And then he even gives the pin out for the colors off the pigtail, what to change on the pins and everything. I'll try to screenshot that little board, how in depth they go. But I just went to the junkyard and snipped some out to where I didn't have to do any crazy stuff. I like to kind of have my stuff matching, and we'll see how that goes. Let's get to running some wire. Chicken butt. She ain't got the whole parrot thing figured out yet. Okay, so a lot of jumping around in this video, not really showing much work, just showing as time goes by. We got the torque converter shoved in there, bolted up to the flex plate, transmission's all bolted up, good to go, starter's in there, the wiring harness is on it. The only thing I'm running right now is the 2-wire speed sensor up to the PCM because we did the 480 swap, so I have this little adapter harness, and that comes with that, and then the 2-wire speed sensor that plugs in right here, pretty sure. I think the other guy right there is a trans temp sensor. There's two wires, but pretty sure I figured that out. And run this up to the plugs, and the wiring harness will be all tied in at that moment. Then we're going to do exhaust, the crossover. I'm going to try to make the crossover nice and as tight as I can. It's going to have to be made in a couple pieces. Is what it is. make it to where I can drop this out mainly. I want to make it to where I can work on the truck too still and not clutter myself up. Exhaust, let's zoom in right on. After we get the crossover, we got to get the exhaust coming down from the turbine right on. So make this as tight as possible, save the real estate right there, swivel that clamp toward the bolts up there or something other. You still gotta be able to get to the bolt, but it's taking up some real estate right now, so we need to swivel it, make it nice, and start coming down. I'm gonna do a 3-inch down pipe, and then when we get down in this area right here, maybe even behind the cross member, I'm gonna bump it up to 3.5 and try to go all the way back. I don't know if I'm gonna do a bed exit, cut up my bed. I like that stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna cut up my bed. The fuel lines are done up there, the regulator's mounted. Let's see, so we're gonna do exhaust. I'll show you this right here. We do have, where are you at? A 4-inch intercooler just sitting in the truck right now. So it's behind there fitting, it's just sitting, waiting on an intercooler kit. Somebody's checking out the toolbox, hold on. There we go, I'll just let you look at her instead of my ugly face. But waiting on an intercooler kit, I'm gonna order some 3-inch exhaust to go to the 3.5-inch bell. So the next video will be doing exhaust on this thing and possibly maybe even a startup. I don't know. Trying to start it within a month or two. We'll see. But thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Pigeon, anything to tell? You gotta tell them anything? Tell your mom and them. Bye.